Hey guys, so starting my YouTube channel is called M3, and pretty much what M3 stands for is mindset or mind, muscle, and money. So those are the core things I want to focus on in terms of capturing my journey, and once I get the results that I want, showing others how I accomplished my goals in those three core areas, and definitely seeing what goes on from there. But yeah, so it's basically this whole channel is about reaching my goals, right? Setting goals, reaching those goals, and essentially showing others how to do the same. So I have a few goals actually that I wanted to share. So there's like maybe 7 or 8. So I'll just start with the first one. So the first one is I want to reach about 165 pounds. For me, I kind of weighed that much around high school, right? I'm 27 now, so that's how much I weighed, during my lightest sort of weight in high school, and so I want to get back to that. Just for context, I'm about 5'7", so I'm a pretty heavy guy, and so my goal is to, just improve in that capacity and reach that goal, reach that ideal weight. And another goal that I have is money oriented, right? So right now I have about a 5-figure net worth. I don't have any student loans. I don't have any, um, I don't carry credit card balances. The only time I'll have like a negative, or essentially a liability against my assets is when I have a credit card balance. But again, I don't carry a balance. It's just simply accumulates, and then I just pay it off way before actually the due date starts. So that's one of the things I would consider myself to be pretty good at is personal financial management. And yeah, just I want to be able to reach that next goal. Join what I call like the 6-figure club, and being able to just sort of reach that level of a net worth. I already make 6 figures, low 6 figures, so that was a goal that I established for myself and attained it before this year. In fact, I achieved that sometime last year, and that's why I didn't include it in my goals for this channel, right? So, so I do have an income goal, and that income goal is to reach 400,000. So I kind of picked that number. It is semi-arbitrary, right? I mean, the president of the United States has a salary of 400,000, so I always thought, well, if I can make more than the president, then I'm making pretty decent money. So that's my income goal. I have another goal, which is YouTube related, right? My goal is to post at least one video every single day. That's part of the reason why the second part of this YouTube channel's name is daily, right? I want to be M3 daily, right? Doing something that hits one, two, or all three of those core goal groups, and sharing my results, sharing whether those results are ideal, less than ideal, their successes, failures, right? So just sort of sharing my journey with you all, especially during the beginning stages. But yeah, that's one of my main goals, is to post at least one video here for you guys, at least once a day. Another goal of mine is a 5 a.m. wake up time. So this goes to part of a sub goal that I have as well, or at least I have sub goals that are essentially attached to this main goal, right? It's like I want to have like a 5 to 9, a 9 to 5, and then another 5 to 9. So 5 to 9 is basically some kind of, studies. I'll get into more detail regarding that. Whether that is studying a second language, studying for a license, studying for skill development, um, things along those lines. 9 to 5, right? My core business and career, right? That's something I want to focus on. And the second 5 to 9, which is 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., these are going to be goals that will more than likely be focused towards side hustles or expanding my business, which at the moment is a broad consulting company that pretty much goes over and provides services for, in the um, financial and accounting domain, as well as a little bit of human resources related consulting and recruiting. So, I don't want to get into too much detail regarding, what my business is involved in and what my career is. I will definitely explore those details as I create more videos. But I just wanted my first video to just, be as introductory as possible, right? So that's a goal for me. Wake up at 5 a.m. every day, right? I feel that time works for me. Whenever I get up earlier than that, I kind of feel like it's not really conducive to my success. And definitely when I wake up later than 5 a.m., I just feel like I don't really have as much of my day as I would like to have it, or as much of my day that I would, like to have. So I just, yeah, I feel like 5 a.m. is an optimal early wake up time for me, right? So another goal that I have, I actually just came back from the gym. It's resistance training at least twice a week. So I do pretty much all of my resistance training on machines. Um, in terms of what those machines are, what kind of muscles they exercise, the primary and secondary muscles, all those good juicy details. I'll get into that in subsequent videos, but just know that that's one of my goals as well. Ideally Monday and Thursday, right, at a minimum. So just knocking it out then, and yeah, just working on my core muscle groups. Okay. And another goal that I have is to hit 10,000 steps every single day. A pretty easy goal. I'm actually thinking about setting it to 15,000 because when I wake up at 5, one of the first things that I do, after, sort of the basic stuff, right? Um, I like to get in the morning before I start my studies. And once again, I'll get into more details what I mean by that. But ideally, I like to get in like anywhere between 4,000 and 5,000 steps in the morning. I live near like a very you know neighborhood that has it's very for the lack of a better term, very hilly, right? I'm not even sure that's a word, but yeah. So plenty of hills for me to climb up, and really good for cardio. I noticed that my heart rate gets pumping the most when I walk up hills. Really great for leg conditioning, right? So it's sort of like a good two-in-one. So, but yeah, so that sort of goes into the sort of the primary goal of resistance training in a way. I haven't really, I haven't really had a chance to explore some of the leg machines and leg workouts, which I guess is very bro-ish, right? So all the guys, we sort of skip leg day, but I'm trying to find ways to definitely incorporate more leg workouts, specifically more resistance training on my leg muscles. But right now, um, the way that I work out my legs is every single day by walking up hills. Another goal for me is to pass the CPA exam at the end of this year. Before this year, I've sort of been just frankly not really being as serious about it as I should be, right? The CPA exam is really important for me. I'm an accounting major, right? I graduated, from school here in California. I got my accounting degree, and for me, an accounting degree, and it should be for most, if not all, accounting majors, right? Your true capstone should be the passage of your CPA exams, as well as experience that will lead to CPA licensure, right? So for me, I kind of consider the CPA license as being the jelly, and my education being the peanut butter. It's it just makes a complete a complete meal, which is a funny. It's a very interesting illustration because one of the things that it's one of my New Year's resolutions actually is to uh, no longer consume like pastries and like artificial sugary foods like donuts and stuff like that. So I won't to think it's interesting because I don't see myself having a peanut butter and jelly sandwich ever. I pretty much prefer what some people would call God's candy or the candy of the universe, right? Which is like fruits, right? Bananas, apples, that sort of stuff. And one thing that I noticed about just eating natural sugars and stuff like that is um, whenever before I started this goal, whenever I would just go on a streak of not eating you know pastries and stuff like that or sweet drinks, and then I would try one, it would just taste like poison, right? I have a friend who is just like, dude, I can't believe like you're not drinking like actual Coke, right? I used to drink Diet Coke and stuff like that, right? And and then when I would try the real thing, when I would try real Coke, it would just taste like poisonous. Like I remember the last time I had it, I was just coughing. Like it was just I don't know. There was this. It just wasn't good, right? And so I haven't had this year. I haven't had any diet sodas, because there's a lot of research still to be done, right, on the effects of artificial sugars that are included in diet drinks. But diet drinks are still, diet sodas are still glycemic, so that is potentially an issue, right? I'm not a diabetic, or at least I don't think I am. Um, but I definitely have just cut out all, you know, pretty much anything that is not sweet, um, for the most part, right? The only time that I'll probably will have like added sugar is in various sauces, right? Stuff like that. But yeah, like, no donuts, no pastries, no cookies, no crap like that. Just trying to reduce my added sugar intake as much as possible. Um, so another goal, by the way, I don't know if you've noticed, but these are all very short-term goals, right? All these goals can be accomplished in 2 years or less, right? And it's February 2023. In fact, it's actually February 14th. It's actually Valentine's Day today, so which I think is interesting, right? Um, I thought it was really interesting to sort of start my channel on this day, because Valentine's Day, everyone thinks about romantic love and stuff like that, which is important, right? But for me, I definitely think that in addition to romantic love, we also have to have love for self, right? Within reason. And so I think that starting a platform like this where I can share the steps that I'm taking to love myself, right? That is by improving my finances, improving my mind, improving, my body, right? Things like that, and hopefully giving you all, a guideline as well to sort of maybe not even a guideline, but maybe just inspiration to pursue your own goals in all these domains or in certain domains, or even different goal groups that I didn't even know existed, right? So yeah, just very cool day, I think, to launch a channel on these sort of topics. So my eighth goal, which or 8 or 9 depending on how you count it, is to read 52 books a year. Now, because 52 books a year on average is a lot of reading, um, I've decided to make this goal not necessarily a goal for this year, but a goal that will begin beginning 2024 of January. So 2024 is next year. And the reason why is because the time that I would spend reading various books, right, or at least reading to the extent that I will be able to reach a 52 books a year goal, that would cut into a lot of the CPA exam study time. So that's why I've decided to sort of push that goal to the next year, which is still a short-term goal. Still, that would still be something I would do or would be able to do next year, which would be 2 years from now, or 2 years from the start of this year. So yeah, and so that's pretty much it. I went over all my goals. I went over obviously the core goal groups that are uh, essentially the namesake of this channel. And I also wanted to go over some sort of fundamental values, right? And these are values that I've had the opportunity to establish over years of experiences, challenges, successes, right? The things that sort of ground me and keep me on the right path is I'll just pretty much say it. So service, independence, and dependability, right? So service, right? Finding a way to serve others. I think that when we focus on ways to serve others, whether that's through entrepreneurship, right? Serving our clients and customers, serving our communities through charity and outreach work, right? When we decide to focus on service, across those areas and more, I think that we create a better world that those that we care about, right, our loved ones, our friends, our family, we create a better world for them to live in. And I think that if everyone were to cooperate in this way and focus on service, I think the world would be a better place. And frankly, I love to serve others, right? For me, I've always been someone who is like a problem solver, and so when I'm put in a position to solve, someone's problem or help them solve their problem, right, in some kind of way, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel useful. Makes me feel like, I'm providing value to the world, and I would consider that my first value. Independence, right? So this is operating in the world in a way where you are being a minimal where you are being a minimal burden on others, right? So this is not necessarily rejecting help, but this is only reaching out for help when we absolutely need it. And so I feel that when people, when they minimize, the utilization of help from others, and they try to figure out things on their own, we become stronger people, and we become stronger individuals, right? For me, I think being independent, definitely is something that I think every man should strive towards being, right? I have friends who, for example, live with their parents, and I have friends who don't live with their parents. And one of the things that I noticed is that, my friends who don't live with their parents, they tend to have more of a drive. Like myself, I don't live with my parents, right? I would consider myself to be a pretty ambitious person, right? I have quite a bit of drive, and I noticed that to varying degrees, my friends who also don't live with their parents also have what I would say quite a bit more drive than those who do, right? Those who do live with their parents. And so that's just one illustration of just how independence just enables you to become the best person you can be across like what I would call critical domains of life, right? So in dependability, the reason why I strategically placed dependability as the last one, or at least the one subsequent to independence, is because it's really difficult to be dependable if you're independent, right? So I think it's the next stage in adulthood as well, right? as you grow into, your identity, who you truly are, as you progress through your career, right? I think independence becomes increasingly important. And then once we have a chance to develop ourselves as adults, we, garner more experience about life. We learn things through the easy and hard ways, right? We become really great candidates to teach others, right? And this would, what would come to mind, right, is children, right? Children, or perhaps we have nieces and nephews, and after we have, achieved independence, right? And we've accumulated, success, resources, wisdom, knowledge. We make ourselves great candidates to be someone that you can depend on, right? And so that's why I think that, you know, um, during our later stages of adulthood, I think being dependable is, I think it should be the goal for everyone, whether it is, whether it's, you being an uncle or an aunt, you being a mother or a father, you know, whatever it is, right? I think, being someone that, others, ideally those who are younger, less experienced, less knowledgeable about the world, um, being someone that, those people can depend on, right? I think that's a really, that's something I'm looking forward to in the future, and I think that others should look forward to as well. So that's it. I think this video actually went over. Um, this video was actually a lot longer than I initially planned, but I just wanted this to be as organic as possible, and I wanted this to be as transparent as possible as well. I hope you guys learned, something in this video, although it is an introductory video, and another thing as well. I hope that you guys are, inspired and maybe looking forward to, um, following my journey, and I'm looking forward to, being of value in as many ways as possible. So that's it. Thank you for tuning in, and looking forward to starting my next video tomorrow. Thank you.